Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, as you'll see, I've got the KTM behind me. I'm gonna fit up a few parts that I've been dying to put on for a while now, specifically more for the hard enduro style riding, as I'm heading out bush in a couple of days. So I thought let's film the process of getting these parts on the bike, and then we might do a follow-up video down the track, or even add it to the end of this video of us actually testing them out in the bush. So I've got a front disc brake protector to put on, a rear disc brake protector, and then I'll just run you through this Mitas Terra Force EF super soft tire that I've put on there. Ouch. Foot peg doesn't feel good on the elbow. Cool, let's jump into it. I think this is gonna be pretty straightforward. Shouldn't take too much effort. And then this thing will be way more prepped up for throwing up some hills. Let's go. All right, so for the front, we've got our disc brake protector here. I like to go with a plastic one on the front over an aluminium one because, to be honest, if something's gonna get caught between this protector and the spokes or my wheel, I would prefer this thing to break over me getting hurtled over the handlebars. But it's still gonna provide some good protection to that disc, especially from rock impacts, etc. Then moving back, we've got the aluminium rear disc protector, which is going to go in there like that. Because pretty much if you're going up some creek bed or anywhere with rocks and you bash your disc brake, it's almost a game over event because it's just going to get jammed up in the caliper and you're not going anywhere. Just some other things that we've got on this bike that are in our range is a clutch cover protector, the fan kit, of course, that's a big one. Got the rear and the front lift straps. And I think that's it. The bike already had, when I got it, some frame guards, swing arm protector, had the force radiator guards on there. So it's pretty well set up in that sense. And I've also got the Trail Tech little GPS unit up here, which is awesome. You can set the breadcrumb function. So if you're going down some tracks and you're not sure how to get out, you can always follow that. Let's start with the front disc brake protector. That'll be pretty easy. I'll pop it up on the stand and we'll get the wheel off, and I'm sure that won't take long to get on. So I'm not going to run through the whole process of taking your front wheel off because I feel like everyone knows how to do that. It's really straightforward. When I get to the point of putting the disc guard in, I'll try and focus on what's required there. But as far as I understand it, it's just swapping out the spacer setup with the one that comes with the disc. And we just mount it all up. So I've just unpackaged the front disc brake protector. You see you've got the inner part that goes onto the hub and outer actual protector itself, which is molded to go around your caliper. So firstly, I just want to mount the inner hub part to the outer protector. So I'm just going to take an Allen key and undo the bolts that come with it. They should probably only just be sitting in there. This is a CNC anodized inner piece, which looks pretty nice. Now, so this space part's going to go towards the inside into your hub. So this is going to sit like that, hey? Let's say we're going to go just like this. Sits in there nicely. Let's put them in loosely to make sure I get all the alignment right first. Now we can go ahead and just tighten them up. Like all this stuff that's going into aluminium, you don't need to go crazy. You just need to give it a nice snug. Because aluminium threads don't like to be over tightened. Easy as that. That's mounted on there. Now we'll just pop the wheel off. And then we should be able to just flick the old spacer out. Disc sits in like there like that, and we should be fine. All right, so now that we've got the wheel off, what we want to do is knock out this spacer here. So this is the factory spacer. It sits against the bearing and also sits in the oil seal there. Or sorry, the dust seal, I should say, to stop anything getting into your bearing. So to do that, I'm just gonna use a couple of boxes here. And I've got it with this side facing down on some cardboard so we don't damage our disc. I've actually got a nice brass drift, which will prevent any damage to the spacer. I'll just quickly give it a couple of taps. You just want to work all four corners, nice and light. Yeah, I feel it going now. And out it comes. Just gonna have a look in there. My wheel bearing feels nice and tight. Clean out anything that's stuck in that seal. It's pretty good to me. Just gonna grab a rag. Do a bit of a clean. Now it's as simple as we get our disc protector, and you see it's got the replacement spacer there, and that's just gonna slot in like this. We push them up, just like that. So it also sits against the dust seal there. Now we can remount our wheel. So that was really, really easy, guys. Probably only takes about 10 minutes. And you can just see how much more protection now we've got around that disc area and also a disc caliper. So stoked with that. Nice, easy mod. Can provide some good protection. Let's jump onto the rear one. See, the rear one might be a little bit more work. We're gonna have to swap this is a CNC machined anodized brake protector. We're gonna have to take off the factory protector, move the caliper across onto this, and put our axle back through, but still should be pretty straightforward. So let's attack it and see what we find. Don't mind the noise from the shed next door. Just a disclaimer, I am by no means a mechanic, so I'm not claiming to be one. So I'm not doing something exactly by the book. I am not a qualified mechanic. Just make sure you always put your chain block. It's pretty hard to get the direction wrong, but I always like to leave it with that face up so you know which way it goes back on. Now, take some weight off this. Now I'm going to try just leave the axle sort of half in so the wheel's only supported on the sprocket side. I think I should be able to wind the caliper off. Now I'm going to have to take the wheel all the way off just looking at it here because I've got to slide that caliper bracket out. So we'll pop out axle all the way out. See if I can just let the wheel sit down. Probably gonna have to get the wheel all the way out of the way, unfortunately. I was hoping I could just sit it down. But it looks like I'm gonna have to take the chain off. Now, put him out of the way. Now, while I've got this off, check out this Mitas double green super soft rear tire. Put this one on yesterday. Super excited to test this one out. I've never ridden with a super soft tire before, but I've heard a lot of good things. Mitas have got a great name. We actually sell these as well. We've got them on the website. We've got the double green rears, single green rears, the single yellow rear, as well as the fronts as well. So, So pop him to the side for the minute. Here's our disc brake bracket. We keep going up. Now we can slide him out. Now it's going to be a case of, I think I'll bring the camera around here so you guys can see this a bit better. So the actual factory bracket itself just has a wider opening here. It slots over this on the swing arm. We're going to be doing the same with this. Basically like that, sliding back down, and then we can line it up with our axle hole. But what we need to do is move that caliper across onto here. So that should be, oops, let's get that angle right for you. This rubber plug, we're going to actually take that out. I'm going to take that pin out. Probably one at the top as well as there. Yep. Okay. Got a 10mm spanner, we'll take that pin out. This should all slide off to the side then. And we're gonna have to move this brake slider over to here as well. Let me get my 10mm spanner. Turns out it is not 10mm. 11. Cool. So now you can see we can take that top pin out and then we can lever it up. We should be able to just pull. Oh yeah. You got a nut there too, do it? I don't know. Should be able to just pull this out. Like so. So that's the old factory one. Now what I'm just going to do first is we've got to move this little, I guess, plate here where the bottom of the brake shoes run on. We're just going to put him over onto here. Sit down properly. Screwdriver will help. Try and get it nice and square, and you should just be able to push it down. There we go. It's on at both sides. Yeah. Get this lined up. I might actually just take this off here, make it a bit easier for myself. So we want this pin to go into the top here, like so. So that slides in and out. Could probably do with a little bit of grease on that, to be honest. Give me a sec, I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on that pin. So thankfully I found a little bit of copper grease, NPCs, which I can put on that pin. Just wanna make sure whatever grease you use is a high temp one because brakes can get pretty warm. And you're better off doing this while you got it apart, so the next person who pulls it apart has a good time. Doesn't sit here unseizing stuff the whole day. So that's gonna go in there like that. We want the bottom of our brake pads to sit in. Oops, just come back this way a little. We want to line up our pin. So we've got the bottom of the brake pads to sit down into that plate. Now I can go ahead and tighten up this bottom pin. Okay, got that nice and tight now. That's all on, so we can slip this whole thing over the swing arm now. We can swivel it back and forth on the swing arm. There's just a zip tie here holding that bush in. I'm gonna cut that off. That way we're not struggling. All right, now we're looking better. Get our chain back on, lovely. Now we can pull him back. And I'll just bring the camera around to this side so you can see what's important is just want to align this with the wheel hub so we can get our axle to come through nicely. Here it comes. Put our chain block back on. You can see everything's in there nicely now. Wheels spinning good. Now we're just gonna get our brakes working. Lovely. Let's give that a final tighten up. And there we have it. Rear disc protection. That looks great. That was actually easier than I thought. Probably just about the same amount of effort as the front one. And we have protection at the front and rear discs now. Easy, this bike is now really starting to come together. All right, so that was actually a lot faster than I expected it to be. Really straightforward. I think both the front and rear only took about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes each. So easy DIY fit for anyone as long as you've got some basic mechanical experience. Just like I mentioned, this bike really coming together now in terms of the hard enduro setup. Still a couple other small things I'd like to do to it in the future, but for now it's ready to take out on a ride. It's been a long time since I've been out, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I think it'll be fine. I'm going with a bunch of guys who ride hard enduro quite a bit, so definitely gonna get pushed out of my comfort zone, but that's what it's all about. Hopefully it comes back not too battered and bruised, and yeah, I'll try and bring you along for the ride and film it where possible. If this is the end of this video, then thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, that helps a lot. And otherwise, you might see this tail on to some riding out in the bush. I'm just not sure whether I'm going to do this as one video or two yet, but thank you very much for watching, and I hope you liked it, and we'll see you in the next one.